Welcome to another episode of the Ryan Tillman Show, where we talk about all the issues that affect us here in California, the nation, and even globally. So if you can, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because it truly does help boost us to the top of the charts so more people can hear factual information that's unbiased. Today, what I want to do is I want to take a few moments to speak from the heart about the devastating tragedy that has unfolded in Texas. As many of you have seen or heard by now, the state has experienced one of the most catastrophic floods in recent history over the 4th of July weekend. More than 100 lives have been lost, including dozens of innocent children. Entire families have been torn apart, homes swept away, and the heart of entire communities has been left in ruins. It's the kind of event that shakes us to our core and reminds us just how fragile life truly is. But just as quickly as the water rose, so did something else: the noise. The noise of politics, the noise of division, and the noise of blame. And today, I want to cut through that noise. There was a post circulating online that caught a lot of people's attention, that those affected by the flood got what they voted for, referencing MAGA supporters and linking their suffering to FEMA delays and disbelief in climate change. Now, whether you agree politically or not, I need you to hear me clearly when I say this. This is not the time for that. This isn't about MAGA, Democrat, Independent, Republican, or any other political flag that you may fly. This is about people. This is about human lives. So let me show you the post I'm talking about so you can see exactly how inappropriate and dehumanizing this kind of commentary is. Here's what she said. Kerr County, Texas is MAGA country. These are the people who voted against FEMA. They voted against climate change warning. They voted against science. They got what they voted for. Now take a moment and let that sink in. And listen, there were moms, dads, children, people who had dreams, goals, and plans for the future. People who packed bags for a weekend at summer camp and never made it home. When someone responds to that kind of tragedy with, well, they voted for it, what they're really saying is that political disagreement somehow justifies human suffering. And that is just something that is unacceptable, and we should never, never applaud this from the sidelines. But unfortunately, it didn't just stop there. There was another former council member who made a video suggesting that this tragedy only received attention because the victims were white Christian conservatives. They claimed that if the victims had been from other backgrounds, no one would have ever cared. Watch this next clip so you can hear these words for yourself and understand why this kind of rhetoric is so harmful. Let's watch.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all-white, white-only, conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going. Period. And I think that context needs to be said in this matter. It's not to say that we don't want the girls to be found, whatever girls that are missing or whatever right now, but you best believe, especially in today's political climate, if this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were a group of Hispanic girls out there, this would not be getting this type of coverage that they're getting. No one would give a fuck. And all these white people, the parents of these little girls, would be saying things like they need to be deported. They shouldn't have been here in the first place, and yada, yada, yada. So before y'all come at me, before y'all start leaving hate comments on my page about, oh, these are just kids and they don't know no better, the parents of these children who are choosing, and it is a choice in 2025, it is definitely a freaking choice to go into East goddamn Texas and to make a all-white enclave, exclusionary just for white people, with all the black people in East Texas, with all the Hispanic people in East Texas. Somehow, some way, you have carved out an all-white, whites-only enclave in East Texas for your white children. Yeah, I have a problem with that.
Let me say this clearly. Pain knows no race, no religion, and no politics. The flood didn't check voter registration cards before taking homes. The water didn't stop to ask about their ethnicity or their denomination. What we're seeing is a tragedy that should unite us and not divide us. And what saddens me even more is that these divisive words came from people who have held public office, people entrusted to lead and serve their communities. And instead of focusing on relief, recovery, and unity, they chose to sow seeds of anger and separation. But here's where we shift. In the middle of all this heartbreak, a video surfaced that reminded me why I still believe in the goodness of people. A man standing on the edge of a flooded street recounts how one of the officers conducting a rescue operation literally jumped out of the boat so that another person could take his spot. This officer, without hesitation, swam off into the rising water to help more people. Let's take a moment to watch this video now and listen closely to the bystander's account of what actually happened. It's powerful.
Thank the Fairmont Police Department. They were brave. I mean, it was actually a video of the officer swimming. You know, he gave up his spot on the rescue boat that they had. He actually let the first responders keep the boat because there wasn't enough room for all of them to fit on it. And I've never seen that type of heroism in real life. I was reaching out to try to help him. He was swimming. He said, no, save yourself, get away, save yourself. I've never seen that act of heroism in real life. And I want to thank the EMTs. I want to thank the first responders, the police department, the fire department, and anybody that helped. But I'm telling you, man, the heroes, God sent those heroes.
That is humanity. That is courage. That is what we should be talking about. When everything was going wrong, someone stepped up. Not because of who the victim was, what they looked like, or who they voted for, but because it was the right thing to do. That's the America I believe in. That's the kind of human I strive to be. So today I challenge you, instead of reposting the divisive comments, let's amplify the acts of bravery. Let's raise awareness for the real stories, the people organizing relief efforts, the volunteers delivering food and clothing, the officers and first responders who didn't think twice before putting their lives on the line. Let's be reminded that when the waters rise, we rise with them, not as left or right, not as red or blue, but as people. People who care, people who love, and most importantly, people who are committed to doing right by each other. To the families in Texas who lost their loved ones, we see you, we grieve with you, and we will continue to stand with you and pray for you. And to those who are watching this episode, I ask you to reflect. Are we being the kind of people who build unity or the kind who fuel division? Because what happened in Texas isn't about FEMA, it isn't about race, and it sure as heck isn't about politics. It's about humanity. So let's never lose sight of that. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Ryan Tillman Show. And if you feel moved by what you've heard, share this message, reach out to the family in need, or simply offer a good prayer. We rise together and we heal together. I appreciate you as always. God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode.